Hello everybody, we are back with another Lasker game, this time with Tarash. So white is playing Tarash and black is playing Emmanuel Lasker. And let's start. So white played with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and again one my role Royal Lepage defense, knight f6 and castling d6, d6, pawn d4, bishop d7, a very defensive opening, and but it is pretty safe. And bishop e7, a usual development, and pawn takes pawn, knight takes, queen takes, bishop takes, and knight takes. Uh, you know, castling and bishop b5. See, up to here, the quite developing moves are happening, and there is an advantage for white, a light advantage that probably not sufficient to win. I don't know, but uh, there is slight advantage in terms of space. Now you can see that the bishop is not doing well for black, so he is trying to exchange it. Okay, and developing, both are developing and centralizing their pieces. And here comes the knight d7, and he is simply aiming to c5 and trying to exchange this bishop. If bishop you know if he plays bishop b, if he takes it, fine. If you don't, if you play something like bishop g3, you will go to bishop f6 and strengthen the e5 square. So white is happily exchanging pieces. Now look at this position. Even though white is looking really better, but there is not a substantial advantage for white, but definitely there is an edge for white. Now you can see in terms of space. Now white black have realized he have to do something. He can't uh, you know s- simply keep defending the position. You have to find some weakness, find something to go and fight with your opponent. You can claim some advantage somewhere. Now rook e5, not only attacking this knight, he is trying to shift the rook towards the queen side. Now knight to d4, uh, there is, yeah. Now rook to c5, very interesting move. Queen to b3. Idea is taking the b7 pawn, so knight b6, stopping queen takes b1, b7, and h4, f4. Now white is trying to probably take the initiative by pushing f4, knight f5, queen g3, ideas of doing mate. Now then queen f6, uh, move simply trying to stop the development, stop the attack of the you know you know white, and also you know centralizing the queen. Now queen to f3, rook to d1, rook to e8, so activating all his pieces. Now knight to pawn to c3, centralizing. Probably he want to shift the rook to somewhere else. I don't know. You can have some ideas like rook to you can move your rook to d2 and g4, and rook to g2, shift the rook to g2 or something like that. Okay. Now a5, if a5 is trying to create a weakness by playing weakening his queen side pawns. and b3, not allowing the opponent to play, expand. So white black goes for a4, simply trying to disturb the pawn structure. Now obviously white cannot take it, uh, and simply played b4. Probably b4 is a slight weakness for white, because you are simply weakening your b3 pawn. Now what else we can do? We can have if we can play b4, c4, temporarily, cutting down the space for the rook. Now pawn takes pawn. You can also, there is a possibility of c4, pawn takes pawn, and pawn takes pawn, and here you can simply continue like this, playing knight f5. This is reasonably good for white. Yeah, pawn to d5 and queen to f2. Now look at this, knight to d7 and pawn to g4, and this is looking good because see, this rook is not doing great on c5. So c4 might be much better, but uh, black played b4 move, so it gives some activity for the rook and placing the rook on c4, and g3, pawn to g3 and rook to d1, probably white is black is planning for d5 pawn, d5 pawn push. That is very important. You have to have your rook should be always active, and you need to open the files, and try to activate the rooks. Okay, and e rook to e3, and supporting the pawn on c3, pawn to c5, pawn to c5. I am not sure this is a right move. Pawn to c5. See, you're simply, um, you know, yeah, pawn to c5 is okay, but what if knight b5? Knight b5, but there is your what happens. Let's see what happens if pawn takes pawn. Rook takes pawn, rook b1, and knight to c4, rook d3, and again there is a problem. You can see some problem here on d6. D6 is not a great pawn over there. Okay, anyways, now after c5, knight, white played knight to b5, even though it looks really active, but let's see what is going to happen. Rook takes pawn takes pawn, rook takes rook, sacrificing the rook temporarily and giving a fork and taking back. Now, but uh, you know Tarash missed a move, which Laskler have simply played a beautiful move, that rook takes f4. Now you can rook takes f4. Now there is a possibility. Now if you, let's analyze, if you take queen takes queen, queen takes, pawn takes, and simply you can, if he takes it back, and you can simply stop this advance. You can give check, and it is simply advancing his pawn. Pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, and this is again, black is posing a serious threat. Pawn to c4, and you can play, you know you can push it back. So this is slightly problematic. So black played pawn takes pawn, and queen check, and king to h1, and now queen enters, gives another check. Queen gives check on b1, and rook to d2 check, rook e2, queen takes pawn, rook takes rook, queen takes rook, and simply your black is simply going unstoppable. Now it have a passer pawn, and now you can see, uh, if the even though the you try to push this pawn, you can simply uh, fork with the pawn. You can take one more pawn here, queen takes pawn check, and pawn push, and simply queen checks on c4, king to knight to d4, and pawn push again, queen to d1, knight to d5, queen to b4. Even though there are few moves played by white, and probably we can simply see that black is making another queen. Now it is unstoppable, and white have resigned. So this is how, see, right from a defensive position to how you can improve your pieces and try to create some weaknesses and opponent's camp, and you know take advantage of it, and you can win the games. This is a great example game. Thank you.